Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
What's on Tap podcast, coming to you once again from my living room.
Yes, we're indeed in a magical place called Stefan's living room.
And today, I'm your host, Stefan.
Who am I? I'm your host, Martin.
All right,
Wow.
So we've identified. So we were doing the first 20 seconds.
It's like a quiz in school where you got 1 point for getting your own name right.
Exactly. So the first 30 seconds of this episode, banger.
Just
a pure banger.
This is just the best episode
yet.
Oh, yeah. But we do have beer today, right?
We do have two beers that have come from Systembolaget.
Whoa.
And Systembolaget's been killing it recently. They've been getting some crazy good stuff in. And I would say the local breweries have really been bringing their A game to the market. And there's been quite a lot of really interesting releases that have been out.
I'd like to make an amendment to your statement, because yes, there have been coming out a lot of good beers, but there has also been coming out an enormous amount of crap. So the releases are gigantic, but if you don't know what to look for, you will get disappointed.
That's true. So we use a website called Beerizer, and what it does is it shows us, like, if you're living in the Scandinavian market, it kind of is all of the web shops that are available, more or less available to the Scandinavian market.
Specifically to Sweden.
But there are a lot of Hungarian and Polish and German sites that don't ship to Sweden there as well. There's some UK sites on there now that don't ship to Sweden either.
Yeah, but they used to ship.
They used to ship. But they do have a lot of other websites. But anyway, so what they do is they show what's coming out of Systembolaget what used to be once a week is now twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week releases. Sometimes it's on the web, sometimes you can go into the shop. But on the first Monday of every month, they do what's called the small and local release. And there's
hundreds. Yeah,
it can be anywhere from 100 to 200 beers that get released on that first Monday. And so the way they break it down is they display the beers by rating from Untappd.
You can sort them and filter them in many different ways. So that's the magic.
So mine are sorted by Untappd ratings.
Yep.
So the highest ratings always show up in the first page. And then by the time you get to like the 5th or 6th page, it's like things that have either been removed from the release or it's things that are just coming out that haven't been rated yet.
That's the secret.
Right.
Things with no rating at all. There could be some real gems there.
There could be. And if you know the breweries and you know what to look for, you can find some real hidden treasures in there.
Yeah, but the site is even better because you can connect it to your Untappd account and it'll show you what you've already had, but more importantly, what your friends have given each of the beers.
Yeah.
Because I've had a few cases where, this beer looks really interesting. And then I see my friends who I share a taste palette with, and they have given really low ratings.
Yeah. There's been several beers where I've seen something that's like, this is like a 4.3. Ooh, Martin gave it a 3.75. Pass.
Oh, no.
It happens,
Yeah.
It's like, if it's, especially with beers that are just kind of available in a small regional market and all of their friends are checking it in.
Yep.
Or people that are loyal to the brand will check it in because it's, hometown favorite. And then once it hits the wider market, then it's like, brr. So, but today we have two, we'll call them hometown favorites because one is from Brewski and one is from Stigbergets. One is a regular kind of beer that you would expect from a brewery, and one is a brand new style that is quite outside the norm for a brewery.
For that brewery.
For that brewery. So what we'll do is we'll start with the Brewski Pineapple Smooth Swirl, coming in at 6% ABV. I'm guessing this is pineapple.
It has to be.
I would guess some sort of vanilla, maybe lactose in there, since it's a smoothie.
Probably.
Although all it doesn't really say what's in it.
I don't smell that much vanilla or lactose. I do smell.
Maybe there's
pineapple.
not. Okay, well, it should be pineapple-y.
Yep.
And that's all I can say.
Let's. I've smelled it.
All
It
right.
smells pineapple-y.
It does.
I want to taste it.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Pretty harsh mouthfeel.
Yeah, the carbonation's fairly aggressive on this.
Yeah. Very weird aftertaste.
It's kind of a weedy, malty kind of aftertaste to it.
Yeah. It's like fruit rind. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Like the shell of like...
Right, that's the rind of the fruit.
Of like a watermelon. You're not supposed to bite that. You're not supposed to eat that far into the melon.
Exactly. If you've gotten there, you've gone too far, and you should stop.
Or far out of the melon.
Yeah.
Wow, I just blew my own mind. You eat your way out of a watermelon.
You eat in a reverse.
Mind
We
blown.
are really uncovering some hard truths today.
Yes. This beer is not my favorite.
No, it's not. It's not great. I have to admit, it's okay. I'm glad I tried it. It falls into that kind of realm. It's a little sweet, but
I think I gave it a 3 or something.
yeah, I'd give it 2.753. It's okay. It's a beer. It's if I was somewhere and I tried it, I would not be upset. But it's not like something that I would go out of my way to try to get again.
No. But the next beer is quite interesting.
Yes. So this is the Ringobrau, which is a Rauchbier from Stigbergets. Comes in at 5%. And that's about all I can tell you.
There aren't that many smoke beers made in Sweden. There are like several breweries that have tried.
Mm-hmm.
Some have tried multiple times. Some have been really good, and some have been kind of.
This one smells so good. This one reminds me of
Schlenkala.
Schlenkara, which is my favorite. Like for me, that's the high water mark of
Mine too.
Of smoked beers, because they pretty much only do smoked beers, and they're all really good. And this one smells kind of like maybe the Lint beer. It's kind of
Lint beer.
Lint beer. They
Right.
Yeah.
Schlenkala's Lint beer.
Schlenkara's Lint beer. Yeah.
Several of the Schlenkala beers, I have a hard time
Remembering which is which.
Remembering which is which.
Yeah, because it's like green label, gold label. I mean, that's kind of how you remember.
And they all have this sausagey, peaty base, and then it's just small variations on top of that.
Yeah.
I've had a few other breweries from Bamberg, where Schlenkala is from, and they're all good, but most of them don't export.
Yeah,
because they're so small.
Yeah.
There are like... last time I researched it, there were like 7 or 10 Rauch beer breweries there, and you're meant to do like the pub crawl.
Yeah,
you're meant to just.
I used to hate Rauch beers, but as I've gotten older and tried more of them, I'm really, really kind of loving them. And this one, when you agitate it, it just kind of foams up a little bit. The head comes back, nice lacing on the glass, and then the smell just gets even more, becomes less bacony and more aromatic, I would say.
Yep, it's very promising smell. Let's try it.
Very high hopes for this.
Cheers. The first taste is too like metallic.
You think so?
Maybe it's the carbonation that in the initial taste I get very little smoked peat or sausage or bacon or anything.
Yeah, I would say the smell was more promising than the taste. For me, what I don't really care about this is the mouthfeel. Is it's really thin,
really watery,
really, really thin. And I guess I'm a little spoiled by the Schenkhaler, which is it's not really thick, but it's got more of a fuller mouthfeel to it.
Yep. What I think, I mean, I don't mean metallic now in the initial taste. I'll compare it to carbonated water in a bottle, where it's this super fizzy, quite low in flavor, kind of. So carbonated water, what does it taste like? It's fizzy and slightly salty, right?
Well, sour usually, because carbonation adds a sour note to it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's CO2 will add a bit of that.
That's what I mean, that I'm getting from the first flavor of this one.
Yeah. I mean, the aftertaste has that smoky kind of peatiness to it, which is really, really nice, I think. But the mouthfeel is just really, really lacking on this. I want it to be a little more engaging up front.
I agree. I'm disappointed. But I like more Swedish breweries to keep trying this style.
Yeah.
I want to have it readily available.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for there to be a Swedish brewery that would just go dive deep into this style and really work on perfecting the a good Rauchbier. Something you could have kind of year round instead of just whenever Systembolaget decides to import.
Yeah.
So what would you give this?
Same, 3. It would get lower because of the mouthfeel and stuff, but it gets higher because of the aftertaste. And it kind of at 275. I'm sad.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it's pretty good. Like you said, the mouthfeel is kind of missing a bit on it, so that's what drags it down. I think if it had more of a richness to it or more up front, I would probably give it like a 3.75.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of flat on the initial taste, I just can't go higher than a 3, I think. But I certainly applaud Stigbergets for attempting to do this style. And who knows, maybe they'll try another version or rebrew this and do something a little different after they get more feedback on it.
Maybe. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
And now that we've given commercial space to Beerizer, we can expect the licensing money to just flow in.
Oh yeah, so much licensing money from
that. We really do like Beerizer. It's a
great site.
It's an amazing site.
If you're online and you're shopping for beers, it is an amazing site to really give you an overview and price comparisons on what's out there and where's your best deals to be found.
I showed it to a Malmö beer friend. He's a veteran with beer and beer purchasing, but he had missed this website. And he wrote to me recently saying, "Martin, the site you gave me is amazing, but I've quadrupled my purchases."
Yeah, I know. It is an evil beast that you kind of is this like, oh, let's just see what's new in the shop. You're like,
boom.
Oh my god, so much stuff. Like for some reason, brewery has just dumped a ton of stuff on the market in February, and every one of the shops have some overlap.
Yep.
But they also have a lot of slight different stuff.
Yep.
So I saw Drick Beer has a bunch of new stuff coming from the brewery that Olkassen and it was Beergium and Glassbanken didn't have. And it's just like, it's 300 crowns a bottle, but
I want it.
I want it so bad.
I want it.
I have no idea what the Drick Beer prices are, but I'm sure they're the most expensive of the lot.
They're
expensive. Always expensive.
So you'll find us on whatsontappodcast.com, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Alta Vista.
Yes. Yelp.
Bing.
You will find us on Bing as well.
Yelp.
Why not?
TripAdvisor.
Yeah. Everywhere online. Everywhere you can think of, you'll probably find us there. So until next time.
Keep drinking it, dum-dum.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.